Geometry lesson 95, equations of circles, translating and dilating. Basically what we're doing with this is we're taking that basic equation of a circle, which we see down here, right? And we should be familiar with, right? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h and k represent the center of the circle. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about changing this equation so that we move the circle to a new location, or actually make the circle bigger or smaller. So we're going to change the location of the circle by changing h and k, right? We're going to move it by moving the center of the circle up, down, left, or right, or both. And we can change the size of the circle by changing the radius of the circle. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so to translate a circle on the coordinate plane, identify the center of the circle, translate the center, and write the equation for a circle with the same radius at the new center. So the radius won't change when we're translating. Does that make sense? Okay. Translating a circle does not affect the radius of the circle. So just moving it, we're going to keep it the same. But whenever we dilate it, we're going to keep the same center. We're going to keep the same h and k, and we're just going to change the radius. So we're going to either make it bigger or smaller. Okay. The process for dilating a circle is identical to the process for dilating any other figure on the coordinate plane. It's not practical, however, to apply a dilation to every point on a circle. Instead, apply the dilation to the radius and the center of the circle only. So this brings us real quickly just to getting into our questions here. Does everybody have this document? All right, obviously, I'm not immune to making mistakes and forgetting to do things. I want to make sure that you guys have this. Mick, do you have it? Perfect. Okay. All right, so the equation of a circle, and they list it backwards, which I really don't like. I like it whenever there's consistency, but they say 36. What does the 36 represent there? The radius. And so what would the radius actually be? 6, right? We're going to square root that. Okay? So the radius is 6. The center is 4, 6. We want to translate the circle 2 units to the right and 2 units up, and we want to write the equation of the translated circle. All right, so let's first do this. What is the center coordinates of the circle based upon our equation? What are the coordinates? All right, looking at this equation right here, can you tell me what the center coordinates of that circle are? 6 and 4, but is that how I'm going to put them in here? 4 and 6. Okay, so we want to look closely at these two things here. All right, if I'm going to, right now we know that the center is at 4, 6. That's 4 to the right, 6 up, correct? If I want to go 2 more units to the right, am I affecting 4 or 6? 4. So am I adding to 4 or subtracting from 4? Adding. So the new coordinate is going to be what? 6, and I'm going to go 2 units up. So obviously that affects 6. Is that adding or subtracting? Adding. So we're saying the new center of the circle is 6, 8. Now I need to rewrite the equation for the circle. Did we change the radius at all? No. So 36 remains the same. I'm going to write this as x what? Is it x minus or plus 6? Minus 6 squared plus y what? Minus 8 squared equals 36, or equals 36 on the other side. Does that match anything that we already see up here? B, right? That work? Oh, D, did I mess it up? Oh, you're right. They did not include our squares, so we want that right there. Okay? Look for the small details. Does that make sense? Now, where could they have changed things up? Well, they could have changed it by saying 2 units to the left. What would that have done with 4? Subtracted. That would have ended up being 2, right? They could have said 2 units down. That would have subtracted from 6. We could have very easily wound up with something that looked like 2, 4 instead. In fact, we see that with C, correct? All right, so if we're going right, we're adding to the x. If we're going up, we're adding to the y. If we're going left, we're subtracting from the x. If we're going down, we're subtracting from the y. All right, let's look at question number 2. Okay, question number 2. The equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared, which means the center is where? If my equation is x squared plus y squared, where is the center at? 0, 0, 0. The origin, right? Okay? With a radius, or equals 16. So what's my radius here? Tell me what the radius is based upon this. What's square root of 16? 4. Okay, so it has a radius of 4. We want to apply a dilation centered at the origin with a scale factor of 5. Write the new equation and sketch both circles on the coordinate plane. One of the mistakes that people make with this is they take 16 times 5. What's 16 times 5? Anybody? 16 times 5. They wind up with 80, right? And if we look in here, we see that played out here on question B, or answer B. Yeah. What we want to do is we want to take our radius, and we want to multiply that by 5 and then square that. So we already said that the radius was 4. What's 4 times 5? What is it? 20. All right. Now, we're not going to write 20 like we see on D. What do I need to do with 20? Square it. Well, what's 20 squared? 400. So that's why my answer is A. We get to the original radius, apply the scale factor, then square it. Okay? All right. So that's why we wind up with that for A, or on number 2. Okay, let's come down to number 3. Number 3, the equation of a circle is x plus 7 squared, y minus 8 squared equals 16. What's the equation of the circle if it's translated 4 units to the right and 7 units down? I think the smartest thing to do so that we keep from getting lost in this is writing the coordinates of the circle from the equation. What are the coordinates here? 7, 8. Negative 7, 8. Right? Do we understand why it's negative 7? Yes, no, maybe? Great. Mariah, do you understand why it's negative 7 here? Okay, so earlier you understood, let's go up here, you understood that your coordinate was 4 and 6, right? Okay, notice that these are both minus, right? Which means those coordinates are going to be positive, correct? All right, let's come back to our question. Notice that this is x plus 7. So do we understand why that this is negative 7? Right? This is minus, so it's going to be plus down here. I know that that's confusing. That's why I bring attention to it so that we don't miss this in a test somewhere or even in our homework. Okay, so our coordinates first in our negative 7, 8. What is the equation of a circle if it's translated? Let's pull this over. 4 units to the right. Okay? Does going to the right add or subtract? Add. It adds. So we're going to add 4, okay? And 7 units down, what does going down do? Subtract. Okay? So what's negative 7 plus 4? Negative 3. Okay? What's 8 minus 7? 1. So the new coordinates are negative 3, 1. What is the equation? All right, as we go through here. So help me out. I'm going to get x what? X plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals what? 16, because we're not changing the radius. All we did was move the circle. Okay? All right. Very good. All right, number 4, the equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared equals 36. Apply a dilation centered at the origin with a scale factor of 2. What do I want to do with 36? Square root it. All right, square root of 36 is 6. What do I want to do with 6 now? Multiply by 2 because 2 is my scale factor. What's 6 times 2? 12. What do I want to do with 12? Square it. Okay, what's 12 squared? 144. All right, so what is my equation now? X squared plus y squared equals 144. Okay, did I lose anybody on that? Is anybody confused or need help with that? No? Okay. All right. Let's see, 7, let's see, or sorry, 5 and 6, and that's it, right? 5 and 6. Okay, John lives 3.7 miles north and 3.7 miles west of Pizzeria that delivers for 5 miles in any direction. Pizzeria will be moving to a new location 3 miles to the south, but it will increase its delivery range by a factor of 1.3 from its original location. Did the pizzeria deliver to John's house? From its new location, will the pizzeria deliver to John's house now? Okay, so let's see, look at things here. The pizzeria is what we would consider the center of our circle, right? As all places that serve pizza should be considered is the center or the hub of society, right? I live in Unionville. Everything revolves around Casey's, because that's where the pizza is made, right? I live 4 blocks from the Casey's. Doesn't matter because they don't deliver. All right, so John lives 3.7 miles north and 3.7 miles west. All right, so we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 3.7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.7. So we're about right in there, correct? Now, they deliver 5 miles in any direction. So what we want to do here is we want to find out how far away he is. Well, that's really just a simple Pythagorean theorem question, right? What's 3.7 squared plus 3.7 squared? Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Okay, 3.7 squared is 13.69 plus 13.69. Okay, so you're getting 27.38. We need to square root that, right? So square root of 27.38, which comes out to 5.2, right? So the question is, when he lived there, did they deliver to his house? No, because he lived just outside of the delivery, right? So we can go into the question, from its original location, did he deliver to his house? No, they did not. He lived 0.2 miles further away. Now what we need to do is, we know that John, he lives there, but they're going to end up moving the location of the pizzeria. All right, the pizzeria will be moving to a new location 3 miles to the south. Okay, 3 miles to the south. But it will increase its delivering range by a factor of 1.3. So their new location is right there. Okay, what was their radius before? 5 miles, right? They're going to increase their delivery range by 1.3. So what are we going to do with 5? 5 times 1.3. Well, what is that? What's 5 times 1.3? Okay, so they now deliver 6.5 miles away, correct? All right. So, we could figure this out still using the Pythagorean theorem. He's still 3.7 miles this way, but now he is 6.7 miles north of them, right? So we can do 3.7 squared plus 6.7 squared. Find out what that comes out to. So we've got 13.69, 6.7 squared, 44.89, right? Plus 13.69 is 58.58. Okay, what is the square root of that? 7.6, we'll call it 7.7 miles. We said that they'll deliver 6.5 miles away. Okay, will they deliver to his new location? No. So our answer, I believe, is a resounding no and no. So bad news for John. No matter what he does, he can't get any pizza. Okay, and this came out to pretty much the same answer that they ended up getting. Okay, you say no. The first time around, he lives 5.2 miles away. They only deliver 5 miles away. Second answer is no. He lives 7.65 miles away. They only deliver 6.5 miles. John may have to actually get up off his butt and go get his own pizza. Okay. All right, last question. I think we've got enough time for it because I always assume that you guys get out at like 9:38 and always have like 10 extra minutes. The equation of a circle is x minus 4 squared. Y plus 8 squared equals 256. We want to apply a dilation centered at the origin with a scale factor of 1/4 and write the equation of the new circle. Do I need to change the center of the circle at all? No. All I'm affecting here is this guy, right? So what do I need to do with 256 right off the bat? Square root 256. Okay, what's the square root of 256? 16. So our radius there is 16. What am I going to do with 16? Multiply by 1/4, which is the same as dividing it by 4. What's 16 divided by 4? 4. All right, what do I want to do with 4? Square it, which is 16. So the equation is what? Let's see. Oh, okay, this is a little different because it says apply a dilation centered at the origin with a scale factor of 1/4. Let me check and see what they do with this question. Oh, okay, so besides this, because they're using a scale factor of 1/4 and the dilation is centered at the origin, what they actually do, and I said this wrong, is that we do have to affect this. We're going to multiply my x and y coordinates by 1/4. So what's 4 times, or what's 4 divided by 4, or negative 4 divided by 4 for that matter? Negative 1. So that becomes x minus 1 squared. And what is 8 divided by 4? 2, right? 2 squared equals 16. So because the dilation was centered at the origin, it affected both the center of the circle and the radius of the circle. So be careful of that. Okay? All right, any questions here before I let you guys go to work on this homework? Nothing. All right, great. I believe your assignment's A through D, 1 through 10, which is like 14 questions. You're welcome.